I don't care what language you use as long as you are consistent. So if you're going to find it easier to teach in a foreign language and have the pain in the ass of learning a new language and remembering what words to use, or the pain in the ass of using your own native language but being diligent in its use. Because when you use these cues, you must always follow it with the picture, right? So the idea is, I'm going to make this sound, and I'm going to make that sound always be followed by this picture until the dog begins to correctly interpret which picture is going to come next. So when I say the word, they go, yeah, I know what picture, and they go. This is not heavy compulsion. I am going to kind of just guide them through some things. So we're going to use a little bit of molding, like it's going to be just kind of insist that this is what's going to happen. So, but I'm always going to say the word and follow that word with this picture, so they begin to correctly predict which picture comes next and they can get into compliance. So the basic words that we're going to start using in this, in our house management lifestyle practice, is going to be stay. And in stay, I don't mean in a position, I mean in a geographic location. And in the beginning, when I start that word, I'm going to start it on things that are very obvious geographic boundaries, like a doorway, like the car door. I open the car door, I can say stay. It's pretty obvious. I mean, don't get out of the car. And when they get out of the car, I'm going to put them back in the car. I can say, put them on a couch, say stay. Put them on a dog bed, stay. On the porch, at the stairways, whatever. But usually I'm thinking elevated surfaces or doorways and thresholds in the very beginning. That's the easiest place to make the dog understand the picture that you're talking about. When I say stay, I mean don't get out of this geographic location. If they circle, spin, sit, clean their foot, I don't care, as long as they stay in that geographic area. So if I open the car door and I say stay, I don't care if it's front seat or back seat, I don't care what. I just mean don't get out of the car so I can unload the groceries, right? If I open the door and say stay, I don't care where they go or what they do, they just can't come out the door. So that's my first thing. Most people will say sit at a doorway, I will say stay, because I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I don't care if they sit, I care they don't go out of that geography, right? So stay, and then once I say stay, I expect them to hold that until I release them. How I tell them they are back at liberty is by saying okay. So if I put the dog, again, English or not, it's your words, you choose your language to live with your dog. I put the dog on the lazy boy and I say stay, the dog is going to learn to stay on the lazy boy. Now they should stay there until I go okay, and then they can come off. In the beginning, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to use a little bit of leash pressure or body pressure to teach them not to cross the boundary, not to cross the threshold. And you're also going to have to use a little leash pressure, use a little social pressure to get them to come out of it. Once they will stay at an open doorway, you have to tell them that they can leave. But I'm going to say stay and then force it, and then when I'm ready to break, I go okay, and then show them what I want them to do, bring them out. After a while, you can say stay, and you don't have to use any kind of pressure, and you can go okay, and you don't have to use any coercion, like any kind of bait or whatever to get them to leave, because they're cool. I'm not using food, I'm not using toys. This is literally just lifestyle stuff. This is just life management, learning how to deal. That's it. Later on, man, I'm going to use food, I'm going to use toys to teach obedience and do all this cool stuff. But right now, dude, it's just learning how to live with me and learning how to live with a dog. That's it, right? It's for okay, at a doorway, here's what I'm going to do. I can use the drag line that I always have on the dog in the beginning of training, or I can use spatial pressure or body pressure. I'm going to open the door, but before I open the door, I'm going to tell the dog what I want, because what I need to do is start to make this sound followed by this picture. Stay. I said I used a little bit of pressure on the leash. The dog learns to stay at that threshold, no big deal. I don't care if they sit, I don't care if they're down, I don't care what they do. I just care that they learn to stay at that threshold. And then I can say, okay. And then they'll come on out the door. One more rep, this time without the leash. Stay. Good girl. You're so beautiful. I know you hate doing this work that's not drive work. Okay. Yeah, baby girl. Dash my honey. So dragline is on the dog. Dragline is on the dog in this stage of management. So I always have the ability to do this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up to an object and I'm going to say, Mabel, up. Good girl. That's my good girl. You so pretty. Good job. Good. We'll do a rep of stay, stay. I'm gonna walk off. If she were to get down, it is no big deal. I would just go up, and replace her, put her back up on the object because I said stay. I don't care if she downs, I don't care if she sits, I don't care if she does whatever. I just don't want her to get down off the object. So she can do any of that. All that shuffling around is good. Now, I can tell her the release word, and she knows it, so she likely would just jump down when I say it, but you might have to actually guide them off to show them that it is all right for them to get off. Okay, good girl. So I didn't have to guide her, but I did. So then we're gonna walk over here. Here's another object. Mabes. Mabel, up. Good girl. That's a good girl. Stay. Good girl. That is doing it on objects. Okay. She's like, I'm actually comfortable. And I'm not gonna make her get off the bed when this happens. When I say okay and she decides, nah, I'm gonna stay here, that's fine. Because okay doesn't mean get off the bed. Okay means you're at liberty, you can do what you want. If what you wanna do is chill, you can absolutely chill. Right? But for the purpose of teaching the release word on a dog that doesn't actually know it, on a dog that is not sure what's going on, then I'll guide them off the bed. You can always grab that drag line. Okay. Good girl. And she'll learn right then, oh, I got it. Up means get up, stay means stay, and okay means I can get off the bed.